What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? Man, oh man, do I have a fun story for you. But before we get into that, I just want to say this real quick. Since about 3 years ago, I had to sell off all of my stuff. And I've been trying to reclaim a lot of it, maybe not all of it, because I just want basically what I really want, not just to have something that's video game, The market's been pretty tough, but, I have been extremely lucky in that I'm finding smoking deals still. They're farther and fewer between, but they're still out there, and that's the whole point of this. But a lot of the stuff that I've either gotten on a really great deal or just been gifted to me from one source or another have been significant pieces of video game history. 32X, the front-loading CD, the Sega Genesis. And it just goes to show that regardless of how frustrated you get in these times, as far as a collector, that the deals are still out there and there's still things hiding, waiting for discovery. And in a way, I guess, to encourage you and to encourage myself, of course, that opens it up to even more excitement. Maybe back in the day, it was the thrill of coming home with a whole bunch of stuff for cheap. Now it's actually the thrill of finding those diamonds, those treasure chests buried in the sand for thousands of years, and you open it up and you find gold coins. I would equal it to that. And in a way, it makes it a lot more fun, So I got a message from someone the other day. I'm sure this is all over the internet by now, but saying, hey, what do you think of this article? And it's a Reddit article, and I don't subscribe to Reddit, or I'm not a member of it, whatever Reddit is. I've heard of it, don't know what it's all about. But a member on Reddit, and he goes by the name, I'm just going to call him Logan from now on, but it's L064N. Very clever, right? I'll put it right there. He apparently, in a thrift store in California, found what is now called the Atari 2700. In development, it was called the Stella RC. So basically, all the Atari 2700 was a prototype unit. It was slated to come out in 1981, if I recall correctly. I probably should have read up on it. But I'm confident I know enough about it. But it was supposed to come out in 1981, and it was basically just an upgraded version of a 2600. And it had wireless controllers. And it's my understanding that one of the reasons they didn't go forth with this is the wireless controllers were actually so good. They had a couple thousand foot range. Some people are saying up to 4,000 foot range. And that would have caused a problem should there be multiple units in the neighborhood or even in your own home, which I'm sure would have been rare back in 1981, but regardless. The thing just basically looked like what turned into the 5200, just a big shell, and had kind of like a touch panel instead of buttons and switches for all your stuff. But all it really was a gigantic, fancy 2600. It never was released, obviously, because we don't see many out there. And I've only seen one in person when I was out in Arizona and Chandler. A gentleman named Joe who ran, I don't even know if it's still up yet, I'll check that out too, a website called Atari2600.com. He had a warehouse where he stored, collected, and sold Atari and other retro gaming related stuff. But he had one. And I believe, if I recall correctly, Gamester 81 actually did an interview with him, and they talked about that. If I find that video, I'll put that link down below as well. That unit was found in a very interesting way, and it's kind of important to note that too, because of how this one was found too. The gentleman who he got it from said it was his actual Atari 2600 growing up. It's what he played on. His mom was dating a gentleman who worked for Atari out in the Bay Area of California, up in San Francisco. At this point, he'd been in Texas. And he gave it to the kid. I don't know if maybe to, butter the kid up so the mom likes him better. I don't know what the story behind that was. But he'd had it growing up his whole time playing it as a normal Atari 2600. And he did have the original controllers and everything for it. And that's pretty cool. This one was found in a thrift store, I believe, in California as well, which would make sense. To my knowledge, there are only between 10 and 12 of these that were ever made. It was only an internal product. It never went to production. It never became mass produced. So there's very few of them out there. From what I understand, there's only 5 that have been known to surface. And that's why this is so important. So this guy picked it up for $30 from this thrift store. $30. It didn't have the original controllers. But from my understanding, it powered up no problem. And it does have ports for your regular Atari controllers and or if you want to use your Sega Genesis. So I believe it was either bundled with it or he bundled it up with controllers. And there's a couple of games that he posted a picture of it with. And he sold it for $3,000. Now, $30 to $3,000. That's a lot of money. My only gripe with that is, and I don't know if this guy's a collector, I don't know if he's a reseller, I don't know if he even gives a shit about video games. I didn't read into it that much because I don't care. But I'm thinking to myself, I've been really lucky with all these things, but if I'd got my hands on one of these, I would have cleaned the hell out of that, had it looked at. I would have actually taken the board out and had it looked at by an electronic engineer to make sure everything was kosher. And I would have put a gold-lined ribbon around this thing and encased it in a glass box. And this would have been the prize of my collection. And I understand that not everyone has the love that a lot of us do for these things. But it really did bother me that the guy sold it for $3,000. But good for him. Maybe he needed the money or whatever. And if he didn't care about it, hopefully the unit went to somebody who is going to cherish it just as much as I, or say some of you would have. And I hope they come forth and they show it off. And they talk about it. And if you're watching this, contact me, buddy. I want to talk to you about this thing. Right? If you're even close by at all, I wouldn't mind seeing this thing firsthand and even play it. But that's really all. Nothing too fancy, nothing too heavy. I just wanted to mention that something really cool was found in the wild. I mean, this wasn't done through an auction. This wasn't done through a dealer. This wasn't done through some weird thing. It was just sitting in a thrift store somewhere, probably collecting dust for a while until they put it out on the shelves, and they sold it for $30. So what are your thoughts on this? Could you not even care less about it? But what's your holy grail of video gaming? What is that one rare piece that you've always wanted? An NWC card, something like that? But this is something that I would like to get my hands on. Not that I'm looking for one, because I know the chances of finding one are slim to none. You know what I mean? But I would love to have an Atari 2700. So yeah, guys, down in the comments, leave feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback's positive. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know how you feel about this. What do you think about it? And if there's anything I did miss about it, leave it down in the comments below. If I fucked up and said something wrong, also correct me down below. So guys, until next time, take care. Keep looking. These things are out there. And bye-bye. Hey, what's up, folks? The Creep here. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more. You can follow The Creep on social media, and feel free to reach out at any time here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Creep would love to hear from you. And as always, thank you, take care, and bye-bye.